everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you're listening in the podcast, thank you so much for being here. It is Sunday, February 4th, 2024. I'm here to speak about a case that I learned about a couple years ago, and it was very shocking to me. And in case you haven't heard, this tattoo artist that I'm going to speak about, his name is Armando Medina, just lost his life this past January 24, 2024. And the ordeal that he went in throughout this, I guess you can say, almost 4 years, it should be a learning lesson for all of us. Specifically, everybody right now, it's the new year, people are planning going overseas for trips, vacations, spring break, all of that stuff. You have to pay attention to a lot of things when you decide to go to another country. Your life can change at any moment. When I was younger and I was in school, I went to study abroad in Milan, Italy for fashion, right? And I remember being so cautious about many things. You have to look out for people trying to sell you stuff, or because it's very easy for you to look like a tourist in some places that perhaps you never been to before, right? Like this is years ago, so I will be going around with my folding map when I will be in Milan and searching for things. And I remember one day I was outside of this castle, which is very famous over there in Milan. I think it's called Forsesco. And one person tried to sell me something, and I actually stopped, and I was trying to speak with this man, and my friend said, "Let's go, it's a scam, they're trying to scam you." And I had no idea. It was just, they're always so friendly, things like that. And I think as you get older, when you're growing up, your parents always tells you to be aware of things like that. And I'm sure if you go overseas to study abroad, they train you, like they tell you, to look out for things, to take care of yourself. But what happened with Armando Medina, this tattoo artist who was living already in the Dominican Republic for already a couple of years, I think he was like 30 something when this happened, 32 or something like that. So he's a grown man. He's had a very famous business, had a huge Instagram following. He's a tattoo artist, like I said, very talented, great at his craft that he did and all of that. One day they decided for the weekend back in October 31st, 2020, him and his wife, I believe, they decided to buy tickets to go to an excursion or within the Dominican Republic to another island. I think the island is called, I'm trying to see exactly. Well, anyways, they went to an excursion over there for a weekend, right? And you can see there's footage of this. He's in a boat with a group of friends, and they're all there, and they are drinking, all of that. I'm not saying for people to drink nothing like that. I'm just giving you the story. So they're all together having a great time, drinking, all of that. But what happened with Armando is a very tragic story, because the drink that he took, even though it had a label that said, Dominican drink, which is very famous. I don't want to say the brand, but it's a very famous thing over there. His drink that he was sipping, that he was drinking, and the wife said he was actually drinking it a lot, has been contaminated. And he actually he got intoxicated by the drink that he took, thinking that it was something else. Okay, this is why you have to pay attention. I think I understand people having a good time. The last thing they will think in a room of everybody else having a good time, who could be so evil like that? But there are evil people out there. You have to be aware of that, and you have to know that if something tastes funny to you from the get-go, it's a sign for you to stop drinking it. And from what I heard, this story, like I said, I learned about this story many years ago, and it was very shocking for me to see what happened to this young man. His drink, the wife said he kept drinking and drinking, and then the day after, he he couldn't even, like, he had blurry vision, he was vomiting, and he can barely walk. And that's when they took him to the hospital, and they learned that he had consumed an adulterated alcoholic beverage during the excursion trip that he took the day before. And I get the name here. The name is Isla Saona, which is Saona Island. And like I said, this happened back in 2020, October 31st, 2020 to be exact. And I have photograph of him, and it's, I gotta warn you, because he went from being a healthy young man, like I said, to looking very sick. He, throughout the years, he had eventually gone to therapy. He had to, like, learn, he barely spoke, but it was just sad to see his condition. And who would have thought, right? I'm sure when they were planning this getaway weekend, him and his wife and some friends, the last thing from their mind was that something like this could happen. And that's what I always tell you guys. Your life can change at any moment. And people will say, well, I don't drink, so I don't care about that. That's not even, like, we get in our cars on a daily basis. We go to places, we get in the subway, like, we just going on the street. You have to be careful. And, I'm not saying to live in fear, but to live knowing that if whatever happens to you, you're going to go to, you're going to have eternal salvation through Jesus Christ. This is why accepting Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior should be the top priority thing for you to do in your life. At the end of the day, we're so fragile. Life is fragile. Anything can happen, like I said. And this young man, probably the last thing in his mind, he was just trying to get away from the weekend, get away from the work routine. And then this happened. Maybe he thought, I'm just thinking right now, maybe he thought he's in a different country. Maybe this type of beverage will taste like that. Maybe that's why it tastes funny. But it's just crazy. Let me read to you briefly some more details, okay? Armando Medina, the young Venezuelan, like I said, he passed away, by the way. He just passed away this past January 24th. Of this year, 2024. Armando Medina, the young Venezuelan who suffered brain and nervous system damage, has passed away after consuming adulterated alcoholic beverages during a tourist excursion to Saona Island in 2020. His partner, Iona Garate, shared the sad news on her Instagram account. And she actually had said that his condition was critical. So I guess beginning of the year he got really sick, even though, like, this was very public, the news. It was very shocking. It was, I think, a lot of people obviously got in trouble for it, the excursion team. And because you have to understand, these people are paying a ticket to be taking in a boat by professionals to explore this island within the Dominican Republic. So who brought the drinks? And they're saying the same company that created this excursion was the company responsible for bringing these drinks. So apparently they changed the bottles, and they took whatever was in the bottle and they changed the label and made it seem like it was something else. But he was the only one who got sick. So that leads you to believe that it was just that one bottle that was altered. So I remember reading the news about it. Like I said, I remember they tried to get the person responsible, the owner of the tours, and then they find out they were actually, they closed down the business. The health department of the Dominican Republic closed down their business. But then years after, they actually reopened under a different name. So you have to be so careful, guys. And I know a lot of people are planning trips and things like that. You have to be so careful. So this incident occurred on October 31st, 2020, and within the initial 2 weeks post the consumption of the altered drink that contained, this is what it was in his drink, methanol, he fell in a coma. Okay, within 2 weeks, he was already in a coma. Throughout this period, the young man underwent numerous dialysis sessions and received various treatment. Expressing gratitude for the widespread support, his partner shared the heartbreaking news on social media. And she said, quote unquote, with all the pain in my soul, I inform you that Armandito could not resist this battle. Medina, who works as a tattoo artist, has expressed a wish to be cremated, and efforts are currently underway to find suitable centers for this process. I remember also learning about how this TV channel over there, TV program in the Dominican Republic, was trying to find the funds to bring his mom over so that she can also help out with the care, because they're from Venezuela but they were living in the Dominican Republic, so they were trying to bring the mom over so that they can care for him. But I think the wife did a wonderful job. Such a dedicated woman. I'm sure it was very hard for her to see him go through something like that. So I have photos, like I said, so if you're not comfortable seeing the drastic change, you can start watching this video. And if you're listening in the podcast and you're interested in knowing, you can actually look at his Instagram. You can see him before, how he was, and then after. They posted a lot of videos about him during therapy sessions, and it was his Instagram for his work, so you can see how talented he was and very artistic, a tattoo artist, very healthy too. So he look, you can see the kind of like the before and how the change happened, everything that happened to him then. But I hope that they got justice. I don't know how that ended. They were searching for the people responsible. The company responsible, it says here, is called Excursions, Ata Excursiones, and the Public Health of the Dominican Republic, the Ministry of Public Health, has revoked their license. But like I said, they actually found out that the owners of Ata Excursiones reopened under a different name. So do your research if you go into a different country and things like that. I remember, I can only speak from experience. When I went to Italy, I wasn't going to, on a getaway. I was actually going for school, but it was still very, it was a different country and all of that. So I remember searching a lot of information about, I'm sure a lot of people do that, but take the time to look at reviews. I think every time you're gonna do something like that you're actually leaving your country and you're paying for tickets in advance and things like that, look at reviews. And I think years before, like some years ago, people were like, oh, people always put reviews when something bad happened. I think that has changed. For me, like, I'm always looking at reviews, even for a product, for a place that I'm going to try, like if I'm doing getting some type of service and things like that. Anything, look at reviews. I think we also, as citizens, should do our effort to help people out and be like, this is the right place to go if you need this. Also, put the effort to, if you're gonna leave a review, to put the positive thing. I know that we're so quick to, when something doesn't go our way or when something happens, we're so quick to put a review. But I think, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate, when you put a review, it helps somebody else that's looking for answers. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Here are the photos of Armando. Thank you so much. Have a great day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, Julissadesigns, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.